First and foremost, we give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash, the bounders to the apostles of GMS Ruel, and Shalom to the faithful men that's always continually doing the work of the Lord. Now, Lord willing, I just want to make this quick video on a strange encounter that I seen a few days ago. And you know, it's very strange. It's like a mystery, very, this is a mystery to me, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, but either way, I know that it was some type of spirits, you know what I'm saying? And I want to give that quick testament what I saw, because I got a point to make, you know what I'm saying, on other testimonies that I heard of other people. But so it was a few days ago, you know what I'm saying, I went to sleep, whatever. I remember that night I turned the TV off like an hour before I fell asleep. I turned the TV off, and then I just started watching shit on my phone. So the TV well off. Even if I didn't turn it off, it would have turned off anyway by itself eventually. You know what I'm saying? But so I woke up in the middle of the night. And I remember I woke up and I looked over to the right at the TV, and then it's clearly the TV's off. Like, the screen is black, but it was as if there was like people on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And they look red, like the whole body looked red, and I'm like half asleep kinda. I'm like trying to like adjust my eyes and shit. I'm looking like, what the fuck? And I'm just looking at this shit. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I remember thinking like is that shit real? And I remember as my eyes was getting clearer, I'm like, oh, this shit real. Like, it just looked like people. I don't even remember what they was doing. I know there was no sound. Like I said, the TV was clearly off. But it was just like people, and I could just see the shape of people was appearing, and there was just a few of them. And I remember clearly it was a man, and I could see the side of his face. I could see like mainly just his head, and I'm like, what the hell is this, man? I'm like. And I remember thinking like, this shit look actually kind of cool, you know what I mean? But then, like I said, I was so like half asleep or whatever, that I just kind of just went right back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Then I, later during the day, I started kind of remember like, oh shit, I seen that shit. But I want to make a point, because real quick. You know what I mean? I remember I mentioned this in the video one of the videos I made. Like, when I'm at work, you know what I'm saying, I like to listen, like, of course, like, one of the first things I do, I listen to music. But then a lot of times I just listen to like testimonial videos of, brothers. Like, I like that one brother channel, GMS Strictly Testimony and Visions. I think that's the name of the channel. That, and I listen to like war combat testimonies, that mainly. I listen to a lot of those. I listen to like prison stories and shit, you know what I'm saying? And and I'm fascinated with, spirits. I don't know why, but I know why. Shit, I mean, the truth, you know what I mean? We understand the left hand side and the right hand side of the Lord. So I listen to a lot of those too. You know what I'm saying? People speaking about they grew up in a haunted house and just their experience, seeing shadows and shadow people looking over the damn, peeking over the door, some creepy shit. I don't know why, but because like me, like I don't like I like light shit. I like happy. I guess you can, for lack of better words, I like happy shit. I like either fighting or funny shit or something light. But like, I don't, I don't really like the dark side of shit, you know what I mean? But that's one thing I do like, is like paranormal activity. That's the name, paranormal activity. But when I noticed, with listening to a lot, I listen to hundreds of that shit, man. hundreds of testimony, and I noticed one that everybody's story is very similar. You know what I'm saying? You can tell some people over exaggerate. You be like, oh, this nigga faking. You know, all right, it's a fucking movie. So, you know, obviously some people gotta fucking lie and shit, but I notice a lot of people, it's really the same shit. You know what I mean? And people, cause really, man, a lot of people went through the similar shit. You know, and that ain't no coincidence that everybody in the world, damn near every single person in the world, different countries and different states, and went through, you know, seeing shadow people, seeing a shadow nigga with a hat and shit. You know what I mean? Like, these demons are real, bro, and these demons be tormenting people and shit, man. You know? And I remember me and the brother talked about it. You know what I mean? We grew up haunted. You know what I'm saying? I heard a spirit sound like it called my name when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I made a video on that before, but anyways, the one thing I noticed, well, a couple things I noticed, is a lot of women. First, I'm gonna get that out the way. A lot of women, they have a lot of testimonies with spirits. The spirits really fuck with the women a lot because it's obvious, because they the weaker vessel. And one thing they will say when I'm listening to this shit, they might say, oh, I seen a spirit of a child. And one thing they would say, it didn't feel malevolent. It didn't feel like it wanted to harm me. So I just accepted it. I said, you're welcome here. You know? You see? And we know the scriptures, man. Alright, because people think that an evil spirit or if they see a shadow in their room or something like that, they think it's a dead person that may have got brutally murdered in the house, and then they try to, you know what I mean, and you know, and they really think like, oh, it didn't feel harmful, so I just accepted it. No, nigga. Like this thing that I seen, when I woke up and seen this shit, like I said, my first thought, first it was like, is this shit real? And then I'm like, oh, this shit real. But then I thought, like, this shit looked cool, like it actually looked tight, but I know the scriptures. I know it's not about to be no motherfucking somebody that lives in that apartment died or something like that. Now he's just a cool spirit. He don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, I had to anoint the house just in case. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. You know, my first guess is gonna be just an evil spirit doing whatever the hell. Because, you know, the spirit world is very mysterious, you know. And, you know, the spirits do, like, sometimes they do shit. It's like, why the fuck do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Just very strange, weird shit. Because a lot of shit we don't understand. You know? But we understand enough to be like, nah, hell nah. Fuck that. I'm not playing with that shit. You know? I know it to that house. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not about to take no goddamn chances. But you got people out there in the world that just accept the shit. That's why these people got demons on them, man. That's why it's so easy for these demons to attack these people. Because they just accept them. Oh, it's just a dead person. The fuck? So like, that shit kind of creeped me out. I just seen her face. I'm driving this shit, nigga looking at me and shit. He just look weird. But anyways, they just accept it right into their lives, man. You know? That's why the elect is a lot harder to deal with. You know? Because we're not docile. We're not stupid. Like these goddamn people. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Right, man? So we gotta be diligent, even in our dreams. You know? There's times where you gonna have to fight Satan in your motherfucking dreams, man. And you know, and that's where you get your rest. You're supposed to get your rest. With that Job, he said, when I try to get in my bed and to sleep to get rest, I got tormented by dreams. You know what I'm saying? So even in our dreams, we don't get no fucking rest, man. You know? Sometimes the Lord bless us with a good one, but a lot of times we gotta fight Satan and shit, man. You know? I seen a damn demon in my dream where it was I was sleeping like kind of towards it was years ago. It was like when I was like 20 or whatever. It was probably like 5-6 years ago, something like that maybe. And the damn demon, bro, I was sleeping on like kind of like almost at the edge of the bed in my room and shit. And then I can see my body, like I'm like at an angle. I'm like above myself, looking down at my body. So I can see myself sleeping, and I seen a shadow figure have his hand on my head. And I remember I'm like, I just woke up. Like in my dream, I was like swatting his hand off my head, like, man, get the fuck off me, man. And then when I woke up, that's what I actually see. That's what I actually did too. I like I was just swatting my head. You know what I'm saying? So I woke up fighting a damn demon. You know, you just in a different realm. You know, I can't give you a full breakdown what the hell a dream is, but you pretty much in a different realm. You know? You see? And I noticed too now that I'm in the truth, I'm more in control of my dreams. Cause I had demons in my dream before the truth. I didn't call on Jesus and I didn't do none of that. I was just scared, and I remember as a kid I seen that movie Exorcist, you know, that Exorcist face, the original one. It was like that, but it was on a man. I remember we used to live at our grandma's house, and that house right there, I made mention in that video, one of my videos too. That's the house when I first heard. That was me and my sister. We was listening to a recording. No, we was making a recording. Me and my oldest sister. We was singing a song. We just being silly and shit. We was young, just chilling. We used to live in our grandma's basement and shit. And then we played that shit back. And I heard a female's voice scream loud as hell, man. Like she was right next to us. But we obviously didn't hear that. Because we right next to each other. I remember I was crying and shit, man. But that same house, I had a dream of the Exorcist face, but it was on a man. And then you go up the stairs. He was standing on the top of the stairs. He had a chainsaw, chopped somebody's head off, and the head was rolling down the damn thing. A straight horror movie type shit, man. You know, talking about his dinner time, smiling and shit. You know, or he said some shit like that. You know. But all those dreams that I had in my past, you know, I was just whimper. I would just be scared. I had other dreams of demons and shit, man. But now I'm in the truth. Now I'm able to fight these demons. Now I'm able to call upon the name of the Lord. You know, and it's just a lot of times, like I said, you just feel like you're more in control now that I'm in the truth of my dreams. Like you still feels like you're in a dream, but you just feel like I think that's what they call a lucid dream. You know what I mean? And like I said, I can call on the name of the Lord. I can pray. You know, dreams I have spiritual powers. I could just like, man, I'm about to fly. You know, I took off, flew, all that good stuff, man. But yeah, man, like it's just, you know, this stuff is real, man. You know, this stuff is real, man. And you know, Satan, it goes around seeking whom we devour. You know, and you know, we are not exempt from that, man. You know, just because we got the truth doesn't mean Satan ain't gonna attack us, man. You know, it could be something that I did or whatever the case is, you know, because we all fucking sin. But at the same time, demons gonna fuck with you any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? You know, Jake might wake up and see a fucking shadow. You know what I'm saying? Jake might, you know, brother just made a video about that not too long ago. That was a pretty, you know, that was a video that got passed around to brothers. You know, brothers have seen that one. I think that was a brother in Mississippi when he was fighting Satan in his dream. All right. You know, and the activity of Satan is really becoming more and more frequent, you know, and expect that to happen more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, the fuck, you in the truth, man. What you think Satan gonna do to you? He gonna try to get you. Like I said, bro, I'm listening to these paranormal activity testimonies, and these dumbass people, and some dumbass men too, they just accept them. A lot of them, they just, some people, they got it right. They be like, oh, nah, you know, I might have seen a person, it might appear as my brother. You know, I got my brother's voice, he dead, but nah, I know that's a demon. Some people get that shit right. But a lot of people, that's what they think. They think when you die, that your spirit lingers. But we understand the scriptures, man. We understand the scripture says what? That when you die, your spirit goes back to the Father. Your spirit don't stay here, man. So you might hear your brother's that passed away voice, or you might see a human person. But that's not a human, bro. That's a damn demon appearing as a human, man. Demons can do whatever. They can appear as anything. You know? As animals, as an angel. You know, that's why the scriptures call them devils. There's not just one devil, the main demon say no, devils. He said devils. And you look at the word devil, it means deceiver. That's what he's gonna do. So he's gonna deceive you. He might appear. I remember I seen the picture. That's the only time I actually seen, like I know for a fact, like not on video, I seen a spirit. Was my mom took a picture of me when I was young, and then behind in the background you seen a female, you know. But I know that's not a fucking female that just died in the house and shit. I know that's a demon appearing as a female. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, and I just want to make that point, man, because that's the thought I had when I woke up. It's like I'm all over the place, but hey, it is what it is, you know. Hopefully it's edifying, though. But that's the thought I had, though. When I really remembered it, I was like, oh shit, that shit was kind of cool, though. I'm not about to just be like, oh, that shit cool, and nah, bro. I believe that was the demon or whatever the fuck demons, you know, playing with my mind, you know, or. You know, I think I heard a brother say this, like when you sleep, it's pretty much like you in a, I don't know, I don't want to, you know, because I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to say something I don't got knowledge of. But I know one thing for sure, though. Like I said, dreams are it's a different realm. So maybe because I was half asleep, like, you know how you kind of still asleep, but you up, you in a transition. So maybe, who knows? Maybe the spiritual world was open to me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was kind of half asleep. Who knows? You know? But all I do know is, you know what I'm saying, I ain't about to play with that shit. I have to anoint the house. You know? Because Satan, that's what he do, man. He try to deceive you and play with your mind and do all this weird shit, man. And these people in this world, man, they lost, man. They don't know what the fuck going on. You know, they just make up dumb shit, man. I heard some dumbass shit, man. Hearing these damn testimonial videos, man. I heard people talking about, you know, their father died and shit, and then they heard some, I forgot exactly what it was, but it was something so simple, like they heard like a noise or some shit. And then they just automatically assume that was their grandfather or their father or whatever. I'm like, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stupid. You know? These people don't have no fucking knowledge, man. You know, but us, we got the tools, we got the name of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So even if you do encounter these different things, you know, these different spirits, man, hey, we got the name. We got protection. You know, and we got understanding. You see? So yeah, man. So Lord willing, just stay circumspect. You know, Satan gonna, you know, he gonna fuck with us, man. He gonna, you know, you might see some strange, weird shit, man. Hey, the spiritual world to us is just strange. It's weird. Some things, it's just like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? And pray. No matter what you see, man, pray and for the Lord to protect you, because, you know, you don't know what the fuck be going on, man, you know. But just pray to the Lord, he protect you and watch you and keep you, and keep saying those names, and so nothing can overtake you. You know, no evil spirit, you know, no devil can enter into, you know, and don't accept it. Don't be naive, man. Don't be like these dumbass people, man. Don't be naive and think the shit cool and shit, man. Like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's pretty much the point, man. You know, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash, the Apostle Jim Messer, we will. So on to the brothers in this work. So that I'm gonna say Shalom.